105 laps complete at Rockingham. Martin Truex Jr. the leader over Michael Waltrip by about 0.6 of a second. Each team has one set of tires in reserve to use under caution. Our Just for Men rejuvenating moment. Kyle Busch getting back to the lead lap and working through. Finally making that pass on Kevin Harvick.
Oh, it's close. Oh, that's even closer.
Tell you what, though, Kyle Busch in that 5 car, he has a good race car. Martin Truex Jr. now, he's starting to get into some lap cars, and that could be a big help for Michael Waltrip in the 99 because they're going to race the leader much harder than they're going to race the second place car.
Ooh, that hole just closed up on Michael, though, between Mike Harmon and Derek Cope. So Michael might have taken advantage there, but he needs to be around to run the remaining laps, and he wouldn't have been if he'd forced it in there.
Yeah, he did. Took him out of contact with the leader for the moment.
Let's get to 11th place, where Mike Bliss in the Rockwell Chevy trying to hold off the Fruit of the Loom Chevy of Robbie Gordon, the 55. Here's Steve.
Mike Joy, I've heard both those drivers tell their teams that they're just riding, trying to conserve their tires. Robbie Gordon in the 55 car tested in his Nextel Cup down here. He drives for Richard Childress. In the car he is driving now used to belong to Ron Hornaday in the Busch Series. Robbie Gordon saying he learned something during that test. He changed springs and sway bar, and it's working.
You know, right behind that group right there, though, is Ashton Lewis Jr. in the 46 car. Just a good, solid run. He's back in 13th. But you talk about cautions being a break for someone. Johnny Benson in the 1 car. Remember his whole day. Sat on the pole yesterday, got disqualified, had to go to the rear of the field. He's working his way up through the field, has a flat tire. Because of his debris, the caution comes out, and he's able to stay on the lead lap, and he's up to 14th position. That caution was a huge break.
Well, you know, they've had it so easy here with that car for the 3 races that Jamie won. They wanted to add a degree of difficulty this weekend. So they're seeing how hard they can make it this weekend because what he lead almost every lap here last year.
Yeah, that car, I think, led 82% of all the laps of both Busch races.
And he's not out of the hunt by any means. Another caution, he's back in the race. He's in the race now, but he could get closed up on these leaders, and he'd be somebody hard to beat.
Benson is 12.5 seconds behind Martin Truex Jr., the leader. Then it's Michael Waltrip, Jamie McMurray, Jason Keller, and this 5th place battle, the 37 of David Green, the 22 of Jason Keller.
Whoa, the 10 car, Jason Schuler trying to be a factor in this group.
But you know what? That 10 car did the right thing. He held his line. He knew he was being overtaken on both sides. He didn't panic on his part.
Lap times are good, buddy. Lap times are good.
Tim Fedowa there in the 12. As you listened in on David Green, here's Kenny Wallace coming in the 91 behind Fedowa. Wallace, whose own car was fastest in practice, but had a problem in qualifying and did not make the show, got into this 91, qualified by Stanton Barrett to run today.
And right now, the 47 car, Robert Presley, he would be the beneficiary. If the caution comes out, he would get the free pass to get back on the lead lap.
And I think, folks, you got to realize something. The man hadn't even driven that race car, hadn't sat in that race car until they started the race this morning, or today at noon. So he's up here, and he hadn't gotten lapped yet. He's running in an 18th spot. That is really a good job for just jumping in that car like that.
Yeah, Kenny Wallace doing a fine job there and holding on to 18th place. Hermie Sabu made an unscheduled pit stop earlier, but now he's come back up to 50.
And he's been pretty solid all day long. And I tell you, you got to tip your hat to him and his crew. They bought this car from Bill Davis Racing. This is a car that Scott Wimmer drove last year, and they were still working on it, trying to prepare it on Thursday, going through inspection. So a big tip of the hat not only to Hermie, but his crew.
Well, the lead battle has shrunk right up. Martin Truex Jr. in the 8, now just 2 car lengths ahead of Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, Mikey's a good bit quicker on the clock right now. He just ran a 26.1. Truex is up there to 26.5, so Mikey's car usually gets good the longer he runs.
And that is a good thing at Rockingham.
It's a great thing.
Show you a couple good battles. The one for the lead is on the right. The one on the left is for 5th place. Jason Keller up high, trying to hold off the 27 of Johnny Sauter.
And Johnny Sauter in the 27, he's had a car that's been pretty good on the long runs. You know, realistically, coming into this race, being second, the Busch Series points, because Dale Earnhardt Jr. is not running this race, he's trying to take the points lead out of Rockingham.
And a great move by Sauter there, using the lapped car of Derek Cope as a pick. He pins Keller up high and moves on through.
Cope's been used as a pick a lot today. Several times I've seen that happen.
There you see those two different grooves. Johnny Sauter in the 27 around the bottom. Jason Keller in the 22 around the top. That's a great thing about this racetrack. You'll see that a lot tomorrow.
Subway 400 coverage on Fox beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. NASCAR on Fox is back.
And the weather forecast is wonderful for tomorrow.
Truex up top, and now Michael's gone to the bottom.
Yeah, I know. He's been running the bottom a little bit more than usual for him, so car must really be working well for him to hang around the bottom like that.
But he can run it wherever he wants, like that time about 2.
The car wants to run low, so he's working with the car.
So after a spate of 3 cautions within 24 laps, this race has taken on a green flag look to it. How long will the fuel and the tires last?
Tires is the question.
Changed hands at Rockingham, and here it is. Michael Waltrip to the inside of that black car. Martin Truex Jr. Lap car out in front of them. Truex lifts. Waltrip takes the lead.
Yeah, he got down under him off of 4 up here, and then Menard was there on the outside, and he kind of pinned Truex behind the 33 car, and into the lead he went.
And while we were away, trouble for Casey Kane. Black 38.
Yeah, that black 38 had trouble, but the guy behind him caused it too, the 00.
David Stremmy's helmet cam.
Of course, David Stremmy's out there 46 laps down, just trying to run as many laps as he can. It's like, oh no, I don't want to get caught up in this mess just trying to make laps. I'm not racing anybody.
What happens over off of 2, you come off that corner, you get a little bit loose, or you get going out toward the wall, you squeeze out of the throttle ever so slightly, and the cat behind you rams you. And that's kind of what happened there. And there comes the 00 and the 38 to pit road.
5th place. Johnny Sauter working underneath the AC Delco number 2 of Ron Hornaday.
And that's where Johnny Sauter's car, a lot like Michael Waltrip in the 99, Johnny in the 27, his car's been working good on the bottom.
And there's Stacy up in there, and you know the difference. Is he still on the lead lap? No, he's back. He got a lap back earlier, and he just lost it. He went one down there a little bit ago. But watch Hornaday now. He's going to go in on the bottom of the racetrack, and up the hill he goes.
Loses a lot of ground right there when Johnny Sauter picks the throttle up. Like he can pick it up a little earlier and stay in it.
Looks like he's just letting the car float in there and go all the way to the top and then gas it. It's probably a little loose on him.
Now just ahead of this battle is Sauter's teammate David Green, who ended up starting on the pole. He's now running in 4th place behind Waltrip, Truex, and McMurray.
And he has a lot of real estate in front of him and behind him. Right now he's really not racing anybody, and you really take care of your tires that way. You're not racing anybody, you can just let your car go where you want to. See David Green again in the 37 in 4th place.
Dick Berggren.
And Larry got it. That's exactly what David Green is doing, is taking care of his tires. The chassis has not been exactly perfect today. Early on in the day, the car was a bit loose. Then they adjusted the car. They got it just a little bit too tight. That's where he is now. So they're looking to take some of that tightness out and hope that they've got it perfect for the final run. Steve?
Dick, Kenny Wallace can thank Stanton Barrett for this ride in the 91, but he should also thank race leader Michael Waltrip. When Kenny failed to qualify for the race, he drove home dejectedly yesterday to Charlotte. Michael Waltrip called him and said, "Get back here, we'll find you a ride." Several years ago at Phoenix, Michael Waltrip failed to qualify for the Cup race while driving for the Wood Brothers. Dale Jarrett got sick. Michael Waltrip got in that car and ran in the top 5 all day just because he stuck around the racetrack. So Kenny Wallace can thank Michael Waltrip and Stanton Barrett.
Now still out there is Casey Kane. He's 3 laps down, hoping for a caution and hoping it's not him. Is the tire still rubbing?
The left front is still rubbing, but I know who his spotter is. It's his Nextel Cup car owner, Ray Evernham, up above us right here, and I have to believe Ray is watching it pretty close. But I'm going to tell you what could really, and you see the further on the racetrack when he dips on that apron, it even rubs even worse. I'm going to tell you what this race could really come down to. We're probably about 10, 15, maybe 20 laps away from a green flag stop. That final pit stop for Michael Waltrip, Martin Truex Jr., Jamie McMurray, that could be the key. No mistakes if this race goes green the rest of the way.
And what will happen inevitably is some of the really good guys will pit, go a lap or two down, and then just about the time everybody's ready to make their final stop, the caution will come out.
Oh, they'd love to come to pit road right now, but the gamble is that caution falling before it cycles through.
Because
then you're 2 laps down, just like Kyle Busch was earlier.
You get the old tire, new tire thing going on. Somebody runs into somebody on old tires. You got new ones, and you get a caution.
Derek Koch has taken his Ford to the garage, and the hood goes up. Casey Kane comes to pit road.